Dating as a Christian is one of the most annoying, ghetto, stressful things that I dislike so much. I don't enjoy it at all. I really wish that God would just send the person, they already know what they need to know about me. God should also help me know them. It sounds so silly, but honestly, I don't enjoy it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. As you can hear, your girl is under the weather. I've got a little bit of a cold, but in the name of consistency, showing up, being true to my word, I'm here, okay? I am here. So this week on Still Single, Still Saved, we're talking about dating and relationships, talking stage dating, relationships, online dating, that whole thing. I want to share some lessons that I've learned. I will preface this by saying that I don't enjoy the dating period. I just don't like that murky, uncertain period of, relationships. I don't like talking stages. I hate it so much. I don't have the capacity anymore to do, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? I'm okay, how are you? Don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. My first relationship, I think I mentioned in my last video, I was 25. Before that point, I was in what I would call a situationship. I was talking to this guy. We were really cool. We were really good friends. I caught feelings, he caught feelings, but we just never moved it anywhere. And that's the definition of a situationship. Nobody's clear on what's happening, but we're just there. Anyway, I didn't have many talking stages. So up until the point of 25, I wasn't really dating, although I did sign up to a few online dating apps. I know. Yeah, I used Hinge, Bumble, Salt, which is a Christian one. Christian Connection was a bit dead because all of these platforms want you to pay to find love, which I think is a bit, I don't understand that. Why am I paying to find love? It's premium love. The love that you get on the non-premium is not really real. When you start paying, that's when you get the real love. So I did a bit of that, but it was always really scary because people are weird. People ask the craziest of questions and you're just like, bruh, I don't even know you. Why are you asking me that? That's weird, So I had my stint on dating apps, didn't enjoy them. It wasn't fruitful. Situationship, been there, done that, not going back. My biggest lesson, and I'll share from the situationship, would be to define the relationship. If you ever find yourself in a place where you are in a situationship or you are in something that resembles a situationship, make sure you get clarity. Make sure you define what that is. I know people don't like, asking what are we? However, for your own mental well-being, it's really important to ask. And it took me a long time to get the courage to ask that question and, be open and honest and say, hey, I've caught feelings. I just wanted to, see what we're doing here. Is this going anywhere? Are we not? Where are you? That kind of thing. It's very important to have such conversations. I think if you are somebody that is talking to another individual and you're getting to know this person, you're spending time together, you're going out on dates, but there's no clear definition on you're my person, I'm your person, there's nobody else, you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend, if you want to use those terms. Unless that definition is there, assume that person doesn't like you. I don't care how they act or how they treat you. For your own mental well-being, you have to assume that they don't like you. Because if they're not willing to tell you what this is, they're wasting your time and it's not fair on you. And if you are bold enough, I would encourage you to ask, hello, hi, what's up? What's going on? What's really happening here? I'm speaking from the female perspective because that's the only perspective I know. I guess guys have also been in that position where they're talking to a girl and it's not clear, but usually I think females expect the man to say and define the relationship. That's what I expected anyway. Until I was like, I can't wait anymore. So I asked for the definition of the relationship. Cool, this isn't going anywhere, we're just friends. Wonderful. Deal with that. Heal from what could have been. It's very important to do that because you have to heal from that. You attach yourself to this person emotionally. You were talking, you were spending time together. Hopefully you don't do anything beyond that. The best advice I can give to anybody that has found themselves in a situationship is to define the relationship. Ask that person. If they are comfortable with speaking to you every day, you guys are getting to know each other, but there's no definition, there's no clear direction of where you are going. It's not fair on you and it's not fair on the other person either. Just for your peace of mind, please, I beg, we're in 2026. Like, everybody should just be clear on what they're doing and let's go from there. Like, oh my goodness. Clarify, define the relationship. It's so important. If there's anything I've learned in relationships and in dating, is to ask questions. Ask questions. If you need to have a list of questions you want to ask, write them down. And every time you go on a date, every time you spend time together, ask a question and ensure that you know the answer that you want to hear. When it comes to relationships and dating, you as an individual already know what you will accept, what you will not accept, and what you can tolerate and maybe compromise on. Ensure that you know the answer that you want. Ensure you know that this is the answer I expect to hear. And if the answer is not what you expect, what are you going to do after that? For example, if you meet somebody and you are a Christian and you ask this person, what are your views on sex before marriage? And this person is doing, hey, your answer is there. Don't try any other. Your answer is there. You know the answer you expect to hear is a resounding, this is wrong, I don't believe in this. Don't come and take shaky answers and think this thing is gonna run. Come on. Ask questions and know the answer that you expect to hear. That way you won't be bamboozled. You know, those people that have the gift of the gab. They will talk, they will make everything sound so nice that you will finish and you're like, they spoke a lot. When you realize that they didn't say anything, it's too late. You're in too deep. So ask questions. Have a list of questions you need to ask and have a list of answers that you expect for those questions, especially on questions around values and morals and where your stance is and on different matters. Know your own perspective. If their perspective doesn't align with your own perspective, say, I'm sorry, it doesn't align. So many of us are in relationships that we're not aligned. And the reason that we're not aligned is because when it was time to ask questions, we were mesmerized by the English they used, the accent they have, their teeth, their eyes, their hair. You were mesmerized with everything else and you did not hear the rubbish that they spewed, and now it's too late. So what do we do in dating? We ask questions. Lesson number 2 is linked to lesson number 1. Listen. Listen to what is being said. Listen to what they are saying. Listen to the answers they are giving. Listen to where they are coming from. But most importantly, listen to what is not being said. Listen to how they're answering, their tone, the words they're using. Do you know there's a saying, read between the lines. There are some things that people don't need to tell you point blank period, but you can hear them without even hearing. The time of dating is the time that you ask and you listen. Ask and know the answer you want to hear, and also listen to what is not being said. Most people say this, that the dating period is the data collection, data gathering. And I agree. It's the time that you gather the data, you assess whether this person is compatible, whether your values align. Apostle Emmanuel Aaron was preaching last week, Wednesday, about emotional intelligence and relationships. And he mentioned that compatibility is not just having things in common. Compatibility is whether you align on values, morals, the things that really matter. That your favorite colors are the same is not compatibility. That's just that you have something in common. Do you agree on the big things? Do you agree on the things that actually matter? Do you agree on the values that you hold dear? Does this person align? Did they also hold those values dear to them? That's compatibility. And that is what you find out in the time of dating. The third lesson that I've learned in dating and relationships: when somebody shows you their true colors, believe them. Dating exposes people. You either expose yourself by saying something, showing your true colors, behaving a certain way. You may be caught off guard and your true self comes out. That's the time in dating that you watch out for those signs. And if somebody begins to show you that this is who they are, believe them. They're being truthful. That's probably the most honest they will be. You would hear women say, oh, when he was pursuing me, he was like this. And then when I said yes to him, then he changed. And in dating, so many times people put on a front, they put their best foot forward so as to get the person, so as to, transition into a relationship. And when they get there, then they can relax and they become their truest selves. That's why it's important to listen and to watch and to assess for the things that are not being said. Because in this day and age, with AI, you can quite literally ask a question to a guy or a woman and they will say exactly what you want to hear, which is why you must listen to the things that are not being said. You must be able to discern and read this person and actually see, your mouth is saying one thing, but your eyes are saying something else. Your actions are saying something else. Like, something isn't adding up. Do you understand? So during the dating period is when we take our time to really assess what you're saying and what you're doing. Do they align? I have to be wise. I have to be discerning, like spiritually alert to hear what's being said and also hear what's not being said. And peradventure, somebody shows you their true colors. One time, one situation can just, awaken something that they've been trying to hide. Those moments, make notes. Let it stick in your head. Let it stick in your head. The final lesson I'll talk about is something I heard Pastor Dolapo Lawal say.
Breakup is a sign of a successful dating process. It means two of you were matured enough to identify that it will not work. It's not bad though. And peradventure, you are the one that they serve big fast. I'm telling you, that thing was not for you. You need to stop having victim mindset.
Yes. That you ended the relationship, that's actually a successful dating period, time, whatever you want to call it. Because in that time, you gathered the data, you assessed, and based on what you saw and gathered, you made the decision that, I don't think we can work. I don't think we can walk together and actually stay together. That is success. That a dating relationship ends doesn't mean that you failed. That for me was life-changing, because at the time, I was definitely seeing somebody and I was like, some things are not adding up here. In my mind, according to what I'm seeing, it's not really making sense. And ending the relationship, honestly, hearing from God, coupled with the confirmation from sermons, from people, I was like, yeah, that was a success. Because God forbid we now enter marriage and we're divorced. You'd rather have a relationship that ended than a marriage that ends. So if you are dating somebody, if you are seeing somebody, you're getting to know somebody, ask questions. And don't be afraid to end it if they don't align, if things are not matching. Don't think that because it ended, it means you failed. No. You would rather it end now than you get married, have children, and then end a relationship, a marriage, and then end a marriage. Broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. Broken relationship is better than a broken engagement. Do with that information what you would like. But that's what I've taken away from every dating situation I've been in. Dating as a Christian feels like an extreme sport these days. But I really believe that it's the best time that we assess, we gather data, assess the data, and then make the best decisions based on the data that we have been given. Not based on our feelings, not based on our emotions, not based on butterflies, but based on what is really on ground. Their actions, their words, their emotions, their reactions. My God. I've learned a lot. I've had some interesting experiences that have taught me so many things. So many things. But the biggest thing I have learned is to listen to what is not being said. Because people can tell you exactly what you want to hear. And then once they have convinced you that this is who they are, you've trusted, you've fallen for the words. Ladies especially. I don't know about others, but me, words do something to me. And I think it's well known, women are moved by words, men are moved by what they see. The words that are being spoken can easily be fabricated. They can easily be faked to get you. And then when you've been got, the person really shows themselves. But don't be afraid to leave a relationship if there is a misalignment in your values, in your beliefs, and in your morals. You'd rather end a relationship than end a marriage. Yeah. So we keep waiting. We keep praying, we keep hoping, we keep expecting. I saw something today that was talking about how waiting, when the Bible says to wait on the Lord, it's not like a passive waiting. It's not like you're just waiting idly. It's waiting with expectation, in anticipation. And I'll continue to be expectant. I will continue to anticipate a good thing from the Lord, because He is the one who created marriage. So He knows exactly what He's doing. He created me. He created whoever my future partner will be. And I believe that in His right time, all things will work together. So I hope that encourages you. And I hope these lessons help us all as we continue to wait on the Lord. I will see you guys in my next video. I've been speaking for too long. I've also sneezed a lot and I want to just enter my bed and sleep. But I will see you guys in my next video.